As tensions between the US and China continue to rise, businesses are beginning to look for alternative manufacturing countries to meet global demand. One potential country is Mexico, with its thriving manufacturing industry. Made in Mexico products can be found all over the world, from cars to electronics to clothing. In this video we will explore what that opportunity could look like for the USA. So what are the current tensions between the United States and China, and how do they impact global trade and manufacturing? The United States and China have been two of the world's largest economies for a long time. However, their economic relationship has been very rocky in recent years.
I have tremendous respect for President Xi, but we have a trade deficit, the largest deficit of any country in the history of our world.
The tensions between the two countries have only escalated recently as they engage in a trade war. This has massive implications for global trade and manufacturing. For example, in 2019, the US imposed tariffs on around $550 billion worth of Chinese goods. And recently the Chinese stopped using the US dollar as a currency for trade. But can Mexico emerge as a viable alternative manufacturing country to meet global demand? Currently, Mexico manufacturing remains a key strategy for the US. But why? Mexico has favorable trade agreements with North America, and the close proximity between the US and Mexico shortens delivery times and shipping expenses. Cargo from China to the United States takes several weeks to arrive, while goods can frequently be shipped from Mexico to the United States on the same day. Also, Mexico has a highly competitive workforce and cost-effective labor rates. So in reality, who needs China when you have Mexico right next door?
What are the advantages and challenges of shifting manufacturing operations from China to Mexico? Advantages of shifting manufacturing operations from China to Mexico. 1. Cost savings. Labor costs in Mexico are generally lower than in China, which can help businesses reduce their overall production costs. 2. Proximity to the US market. Mexico's proximity to the United States makes it an attractive location for manufacturers, which can help reduce shipping costs and lead times, which can ultimately benefit both the business and its customers. 3. Favorable trade agreements. Mexico's favorable trade agreements with the US and other countries can help businesses reduce their import and export costs. The recently signed United States-Mexico-Canada agreement has also made it easier for businesses to trade with Mexico. 4. Access to skilled labor. Mexico has a large pool of skilled labor, particularly in the manufacturing sector. This can be a significant advantage for businesses that require specialized skills and expertise. Challenges of shifting manufacturing operations from China to Mexico. 1. Cultural differences. Mexico has a different culture and business environment than China, which can pose a challenge for businesses that are not familiar with the country. Businesses will need to invest time and resources in understanding the local culture and building relationships with suppliers and partners. 2. Infrastructure. While Mexico has made significant improvements in its infrastructure in recent years, there are still challenges in transportation and logistics that businesses need to be aware of. This can impact lead times and increase transportation costs. 3. Security concerns. Mexico has experienced security concerns in recent years, particularly in some areas of the country. Businesses will need to take appropriate measures to ensure the safety of their employees and operations.
4. Regulatory environment. Mexico has a complex regulatory environment that can pose challenges for businesses, particularly in areas such as labor laws and environmental regulations. Businesses will need to ensure that they comply with all relevant regulations to avoid any legal or reputational risks. 5. Are there any existing trade agreements or partnerships that could facilitate Mexico's role as an alternative manufacturing country? Indeed, Mexico has 13 free trade agreements with 50 countries, including NAFTA and FTAs with the European Union, European Free Trade Area, Japan, Israel, and more, which facilitates Mexico's role as an alternative manufacturing country. However, Mexico needs to strategically position itself to take advantage of these opportunities, and also address challenges such as corruption and security concerns.
Therefore, Mexico must carefully evaluate its options and leverage its strengths. while also mitigating potential risks and obstacles. How do Mexico's geographic location and proximity to the United States influence its potential as a manufacturing base? Roughly 15 million people live in the border region as a whole. Along the border, cooperation between the US and Mexico includes working with state and local authorities on cross-border infrastructure, transportation planning, and security, as well as collaborating with organizations that deal with issues related to migration, natural resource management, the environment, and health. The bipartisan infrastructure bill, which President Biden signed in November 2021, included roughly $1.4 billion for building and renovation initiatives at land ports of entry along the US-Mexico border and was a major investment in American infrastructure. Presidents Biden and Lopez Obrador reaffirmed their commitment to building borders that are more dependable, effective, and safe, while also enhancing our shared trade during their meeting on July 12, 2022. Together, they are attempting to harmonize priorities. What are the potential implications and consequences for the global economy if Mexico becomes a significant player in global manufacturing? Here are a few potential ones. Increased competition. Mexico's rise as a global manufacturing hub would likely increase competition in the sector. This could lead to price competition and pressure on profit margins for established manufacturers. Supply chain diversification. As many companies have relied heavily on China for manufacturing in recent years, Mexico's emergence as a viable alternative could lead to a diversification of global supply chains. Job creation. Mexico's manufacturing growth can lead to increased job opportunities both within the country and abroad, helping alleviate poverty and spur economic development in Mexico and other developing countries. Currency fluctuations. If Mexico's manufacturing sector grows significantly, it could lead to fluctuations in the value of the Mexican peso. This could impact global exchange rates and the value of international trade. Environmental impact. Increased manufacturing in Mexico could lead to environmental concerns, such as increased air and water pollution, deforestation, and other negative impacts. Overall, Mexico's emergence as a significant player in global manufacturing could have both positive and negative implications for the global economy.